I love watching sports. I love watching baseball. It's nice to have Major League Baseball back, but is it back for long? That's the question. A new story just coming out. 4 more players have tested positive for the coronavirus from the Marlins. That brings the total to 17. Of course, they had to postpone the opening day of the Marlins, and the Yankees-Phillies game had to be postponed as well. So what better person to talk about baseball? I grew up a huge Red Sox fan, and this guy's a friend of the show. He's awesome. He's a 2-time World Series champ, a 2-time All-Star, and a pretty good golfer, too. That would be Johnny Damon. Johnny, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. And who told you that I'm a pretty good golfer? Because they are highly mistaken.
Well, Donald Trump told me you weren't bad. So, I'm just going by his. Maybe he's not telling me the truth. I don't know. That's what I heard.
Well, I was definitely better a couple years ago and haven't had much time.
You got a lot of kids. How many kids? Yeah, 8 kids. That's just.
Yes, sir.
There are some pinch hitters that don't even get that many at bats during a season. Then you have kids. It's unbelievable. But anyway, so Johnny, let's talk about something serious to start, which is the coronavirus pandemic. You of all people, of course you want to see baseball, as do I, and all the sports fans across the world. Quite frankly, what do you make of this story that just came out? That you got 17 players that have just tested positive, and they had to postpone some games. How concerning is this? What do you hear and what do you know? And do you think that this season will continue a week from now?
Well, I really thought they should have had teams in Florida, in Arizona, possibly Vegas, just so these teams did not have to get on a plane and travel to a new city. I'm hoping all the players are asymptomatic and they're feeling pretty good. I know coronavirus is going to be here forever, and we have to learn how to live with it. We have to get the economy going, and we have to be smart. If you're feeling sick, don't go to work or don't go around to people. But there is a reason why there's 60 players on a roster for this reason, and hopefully these guys can test negative in a couple of days, which is what the cases have been lately, and people have it for a couple of days and then they're fine, and just hopefully they don't feel too sick.
In your playing days, Johnny, did you ever think we would see an image of managers and players wearing masks in a dugout?
No, it's absolutely strange to watch, and also no fans. The biggest moment I ever had was when I brought the crowd to its feet or silenced the crowd, and those were the best moments. And right now, there's no big walk-off hits or that big key strikeout, and the fans are going wild. So I think the players are definitely missing that. They're definitely trying to do the right thing, and I just hope they continue to play, and let's just get smarter. And also think about it. If you're a struggling team and you're going to play a tough team, there could be a lot of coronavirus spikes. Tell the guys to go out and let's not make that trip to say New York or and play the top team. So I'm joking about that, but there's possibilities that a lot of series can be canceled, and they could play a big part in who goes through the playoffs and who goes on to win the World Series.
Yeah, no question. If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Johnny Damon, 2-time World Series champion and 2-time All-Star. Johnny, can you recall what it would have felt like wearing a Red Sox uniform going into Yankee Stadium, or wearing the Yankee uniform going into Fenway with no fans? Can you even picture what that would have been like?
No, our biggest games was Big Papi ending Game 4 with a home run, and then the next night the fans are all chewing on their teeth, and we come back in the third extra inning sometime, and so those are the most special moments. And I think it's really tough to go into these stadiums too when you have cities and states trying to defund the police, because the police are big security at the stadiums as well. We count on them. Those are our brothers, and they protected the fans. I know the fans aren't there, but they did a tremendous job. And we definitely need them, and we definitely need for everybody to get out and vote. Even if you don't like Mr. Trump, if you think he has an ego, well, he does. But the policies are there, So you don't have to like the president. Whatever's going to be best for your family. And I think more money in your pocket, police, we have security.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with what you're talking about when it comes to defunding the police. I think that's ridiculous. I just want to mention a moment at Fenway when it was a day or two, excuse me, after the Boston bombing. And I remember when you had a bunch of police officers out there on the field, and you had a bunch of politicians and first responders, and you had Big Papi out there who was your teammate, and he goes out there and he says, "This is our effing city." And I got goosebumps when I saw that. It's kind of like a moment when even though I wasn't a huge George W. Bush fan, after 9/11, when he had that megaphone and he said, "We hear you and the world hears you." There's certain moments in life that I remember and I got goosebumps. George W. Bush, that moment. Big Papi.
Yeah.
Do you remember that moment? I mean, I thought that was very special.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what is going to happen. I mean, the great citizens of New York City, I mean, they're going to get fed up. The great people of Seattle, they're going to get fed up. Portland, what's going on is not right. And, I mean, if you commit a crime, I mean, you have to do time. And then you have to get back into good graces with your family, with your neighbors, with your community. I mean, you just took away your rights as what it used to be when you commit a crime. And right now, they continue to have rights for causing mayhem in the street.
I agree. Let's talk a little bit about that. Let's dig deeper into it, how politics and sports collide. Let's talk about the Black Lives Matter movement. What do you make, Johnny, of Major League Baseball having in some stadiums having Black Lives Matter signs, including Fenway Park? On the outside of Fenway Park, a huge Black Lives Matter sign. We have a lot of players that are kneeling, some are not. The black ribbon, I don't know if you saw that on television. What do you make of what's going on in Major League Baseball right now? Some are criticizing it, others think it's great. What does Johnny Damon think of this Black Lives Matter movement and how Major League Baseball is handling it?
Okay, well, we live in a society where we can pretty much do what we want. So if players want to kneel, if it's not about the flag, I'm for it. The Black Lives Matter movement, guess what? It's been important to me my entire life. It doesn't need to, and now they're telling everybody, well, I always treated people equally. My best friends growing up were black. Ron Henry, Ronnie and David Gossett, Damon Watson, Preston Buford, Mark Jackson. All these guys were my best friends, and Black Lives matter to me when I was a kid, and they continue to matter to me. The movement, I would get on board if all Black Lives mattered. The kids in Chicago, the innocent victims that are not being treated fairly, and they're dying at their just playing outside. So once all Black Lives matter, once we try to help them out, I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous what we hear about Chicago and other places. It's terrifying.
Oh, I agree with you. And you know what? Now that we have you on the line, here's something else that's not good news, even though it's sort of changing the subject. We just received some breaking news, Johnny Damon, that the Marlins have just officially suspended the entire 2020 season. What is your reaction to that? That is breaking news. It just came out a few minutes ago. What is your reaction to that?
Wow. That's pretty insane. I mean, I know I could probably put together a few talented ball players around the Orlando and Tampa area, and we can fill in for those games. Like Gary Sheffield and Ricky Weeks and Ray Langford, AJ Brzezinski.
I'd like to watch that.
Yeah, but that's crushing. I mean,
yeah.
And
so, Johnny, how do you have a season? How do you have a major league season when one of your teams now is out? I mean, that's what I don't understand. I mean, I want baseball just as much as you do, but how do you have a full season with integrity when you have an organization that's out?
Exactly, and I mean, that's why they gave them a 60-game or a 60-game schedule and 60 players. And, you know, the numbers in Florida, they're not quite what they are being said across the nation. I mean, and the people who are getting sick, some more severely, mostly the older people. But we also know if you're sick, don't go out. And most of my friends who have got it, they had a slight fever for a day. They got very tired that second day. And by the third day, they felt pretty good. And so I'm just hoping nobody's getting violently sick or possibly could lose their lives. But, you know, some people do. And that's a very unfortunate thing if it does happen.
Sure.
But I really thought everything should have been in the Florida, Vegas, Arizona places.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you also. So with this news now, I mean, what do you think the commissioner is going to do? I mean, do you think we will have Major League Baseball in 2 weeks?
Oh, I think so. I mean, you know, NBA and soccer is going on great here in Orlando. And, yeah, I mean, they have to make a big decision. I mean, those guys are playing games, getting on a bus, going to the airport, going through security, jumping on a plane, landing, getting on another bus, going to a hotel. There's a lot of moving parts involved with what's going on, and I'm not quite sure how all these guys contracted it, if they were hanging out or if they went to dinner or went to a bar. You know, players just need to be safe. You know, get your Tito's and your Miller Lights at your hotel room, hang out with friends, play some cards, and watch a movie, and like get ready for the next day. I mean, that's what pretty much have to do, and that's what I would definitely be doing.
I agree.
If I was playing.
Yeah, I agree. It's about personal responsibility. All right, Johnny, last question for you here. I have to ask you, we have to have a little fun with this. What did you make of Dr. Fauci's first pitch? Or I shouldn't say first pitch, honorary pitch.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that goes down as one of the worst ever. But, you know, since there were no fans out there, I thought he should have tried one more time, but it didn't even seem like he practiced. So, yeah, that's too bad. But
you were in New York. Sure. Do you remember the Baba Booey pitch?
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty bad, too. All right, so what was worse? Baba Booey from the Howard Stern Show or Dr. Fauci? If you had to rate one, which one was worse?
Well, Baba Booey wanted to be funny, I would think. So, I don't know. Fauci sticks to our mind a lot more right now. So, and it's got a lot of television airplay. So I'm going to say Fauci.
Fair enough. Hey, Johnny, I always appreciate you when you take some time to join us on the show. I know you're a busy guy with your family and all, but keep up the great work, my friend. And we really do appreciate your time as always. And enjoy the golf course, my friend. Play some golf.
Will do.
All right. Thank you. That's Johnny Damon, former two-time World Series champion, two-time All-Star.